So taking a look at some of our national and international headlines for Tuesday, July 18th, 2017, there's some news out of the Korean Peninsula. South Korea has offered military and Red Cross talks with the North. Now, this is something, of course, that has happened from time to time in the past, and in fact, there have been some negotiations that have gone very well in terms of extending the ceasefire and in actually having family members being able to visit each other across the border. With all of the tensions that have been just ratcheting up and up and up and up in recent months, this seems to be an attempt to try to get things to go back the other way. I mean, obviously, nothing works better at ratcheting down tensions than to have somebody get a visit from their grandkids that they haven't seen in 20 years, right? India has sent an official notice to Pakistan that they reserve the right to retaliate. This after Pakistan has been accused by India of a number of shooting and other incursions across that line in Kashmir, this area of control. Kremlin has said that the Russian special services are checking in on what has been reported about the liquidation of the leader of ISIS, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. He was actually reported killed several times. The most recent, actually, there was one in June in which they claimed that he was killed in a Russian bombing, and then he emerged again, and then they said he was killed in July here just about a week ago. However, new reports have come out that he is still alive, and so now the Russians are saying they're still checking into it. It hasn't been verified by the United States either. The migrant rescues that have been happening in the Mediterranean Sea, it looks like a group from Europe called Defend Europe. It is they want to preserve the European bloodline, and it tells you where they're coming from. They're going to be trying to block the migrant rescues. A global cyber attack, according to a new report by Lloyd's of London, could cost over $120 billion in losses. There was a flash flood in Arizona. People that were having a little swim out in Payson hit by a flash flood. This has happened a number of times since I was a kid. I remember growing up in Arizona that there were always these warnings about flash floods. Well, in this particular case, 9 members of the same family were killed in this flash flood. China has warned Japan to, quote, get used to it when it comes to their bomber flights near Okinawa. They've been testing their actual battle capabilities out over the sea. And Google has been ordered to hand over their salary details in a gender equality court battle. A man was shot accidentally in the leg at a Denver gun show. One of the witnesses just put it out like this. Somebody negligently fired a handgun. Somebody was shot. That's what it comes down to. Negligence. Guns don't just go off. The Jehovah's Witnesses have asked the Russian Supreme Court to question a religious expert. They've been ruled an extremist organization, and they basically want them to judge their own material. They're asking the judge to here, take a look at this. Do you think this is extremist? Could have some interesting complications and other side effects along the way. The UK is going to be introducing porn ID checks by April of 2018. Been quite a few children getting access to pornography, in some cases accidentally, and they want to block that. One of the proposals is to require anyone viewing porn to have to put in credit card information before they get a chance to see anything. The seizure of the diplomatic assets in the United States. Remember this, when the United States went and took over some of these mansions that have been occupied by Moscow's diplomatic corps. Basically, they just took them, seized them. And Lavrov, the foreign deputy in Russia, has called them being robbed in broad daylight. And lastly, a very sad story out of Minneapolis. An Australian bride-to-be called 911 on Saturday because she heard a noise. The police arrived and shot her dead. And some questions are being asked about the issue, as it's now causing a bit of a diplomatic row down under as well. There are more stories than we have time for in a short video. If you'd like to get a more comprehensive look at the news, I do a 30 to 40-minute audio version, which I email to my subscribers every morning at 5 a.m. If you'd like a sample, hit me up with an email, steve@radiofreespeech.com.